Good evening, everybody. It's John from Veganism KILLS. It's 7:07 p.m. Friday, September 17th. Now, today we got a course of questions from KJ, who's a vegan, but seems to bear some kind of semblance of intelligence. So I was glad to actually talk to him. Now, in this video, Eat This Much is actually a vegan website that helps you plan meals. And in this video, we've seen that they suggest that you eat a green kiwi smoothie with 6 cups of spinach that has almost 4,000 milligrams of oxalates in that 2-serving smoothie breakfast. So I don't understand how vegans can say they're not telling people to consume this stuff when it's coming off their website and it's generating automatically and putting it in there. So I'm sorry, vegans. You guys are drinking these green smoothies. You're not avoiding the oxalates. I got so many videos of prominent vegans dancing around drinking these spinach smoothies. It's ridiculous. So yes, maybe not you, but your community's responsible for telling these people to drink a high oxalate smoothie that's way over the maximum load of 45 milligrams per day. Way over. And I'm not going to give that one to you. I'm sorry, that's a poor excuse. The next poor excuse I got is a study from 1939, apparently, since it was done 82 years ago, wasn't good enough. They just dismissed it because the study's old. Can I ask you something, vegans? When was it discovered when the world was round? When? 3 BC by Pythagoras. And yet that still stands. Do we dismiss that? That's old. That's over 2,000 years old when they discovered the world was round, Pythagoras. He deduced it by looking up at the sky and seeing the moon. Do we dismiss that? Because that's way older than 82 years, as you guys gloated on the Happy Healthy Vegan site. We just dismissed the science because it's old. What, in the 1940s, we split the atom. Maybe we should take all that research and work and just throw it in the garbage. It's too old. Ridiculous statements. Now let's get to KJ. I don't think he is per se dumb. I think he's just misinformed. And I'm going to show you where he's misinformed. And he's getting this information, obviously, from other vegans and these people with the vegan channels. That's where he gets his information from. So let's see what he knows. I don't know any vegan that actually blends up 6 cups of raw spinach to eat and drink, but yet we see it all over YouTube. I don't even eat that much spinach, and I'm vegan. Fine. I don't know why the hell the website would suggest that, because, yeah, it's got a ton of oxalates. So this vegan's saying, yeah, it does have a ton of oxalates. No reasonable vegan would eat that, but are we seeing reasonable vegans here on our comments field? Nope. A vegan diet should not consist of a balance of healthy fats, proteins, complex carb, fruits, and vegetables. A B12 supplement, vitamin D, which everyone should take for the most part, unless you're someone who gets a good bit of sun exposure with sunscreen, of course, are handy too. An easy way to eat spinach and get more nutrients from it is to cook it. Now, unfortunately, Mr. KJ, I have to disagree with you, because I have the science right in front of me that tells me a different story. And if you got that story from somebody who said if you cook the spinach, it takes away the oxalates, they're not telling you the truth, KJ, and I can prove it to you very easily. Here's spinach, raw, 1 cup, 656 milligrams. Now you take a half a cup of spinach, you cook that, look what happens to the spinach oxalates. Now, for half the serving, right, the oxalates are 755 milligrams, which means When you cooked it, you took 656 milligrams and turned it around to 1,500 milligrams. It's all it takes is a calculator. It's right here, St. Joseph's Healthcare. And to say, again, that you guys aren't getting oxalates in your food because you're not eating spinach. Spinach is not the only type of food that you eat, and all of the other ones that you do eat have oxalates in them. And unfortunately, when you have to eat 2,500 calories a day, that's going to take a lot of plant material. Even if you eat, say, bok choy, which with 2,500 calories, a bok choy is going to be about 58 cups. 58 times 1 is 58 milligrams of oxalates. You're not supposed to eat over 45 or you're going into renal distress, which is going to make you have kidney stones. And even if you mix it up, again, if you're looking at a 2,500 calorie daily intake, and if you're mixing it up, just because you leave out spinach doesn't mean that you're still not getting a lot of oxalates. I see people eat huge amounts of kale. Now, kale, you want to get that 2,500 calories, you got to eat 58 cups. What are you going to have in oxalates? 116 milligrams. You're just not supposed to eat above 45 a day. You're eating more than double over the recommended amount. So you go down this list. Oh, I don't eat spinach, but it's not just spinach. If you add up the numbers of any of these in a 2,500 calorie food, you're going to have over 45 milligrams of oxalates no matter how you mix and match, because you have to eat 2,500 calories. And I'm sorry, vegetable matter isn't calorie-dense food. You're going to have to eat a lot of it. And even if it has a small amount of oxalates, when you add up what you ate, you're going to have over the recommended 45 milligrams of oxalates very easily. So, the hospital, unless you think it's conspiracy, and since maybe this list isn't up to the minute, you want to dismiss it. Maybe this list is 82 years old, and you want to dismiss it because, it's old. It's old. That damn science from, Copernicus. Sir Isaac Newton, when he wrote the theory of gravity when the apple hit him in the head in the 1600s. That's old stuff. Just dismiss it. Vegans are replacing science with their own science. I've seen the white papers that gravity doesn't exist from the vegan scientists. It proved it. So enough clowning around. So you could see, obviously, he's getting misinformation. And I told him on a 2,500 calorie per day plan, even eating the lowest in oxalates bok choy, which only has 1 milligrams of oxalates per cup, you would be at 58 milligrams of oxalates. Varying the diet would only increase the level of oxalates. 1 cup of soy milk, 336 milligrams of oxalates. An orange. I'm going to eat an orange today instead. I'm going to cut down to 1 cup of bok choy and I'm going to eat an orange. He just added 29 instead of 1. Okay, I'm going to add some dates to my food. Let's see a date. I might need to correct that on the date. Let me see. Usually I underestimate. Yeah, 24 milligrams. So if you eat two dates, you're 1 point shy going into the danger zone. So you're going to live on 2 dates? Is that you telling me that you're going to eat 2 dates and you're not going to eat anything else because you don't want to have a high oxalate count in your 2,500 calories? You'll starve to death. So naturally, this diet's inclined to malnutrition and renal problems because there's just no way around it. To get 2,500 calories a day, you're going to have to eat plant matter, which has more oxalate per calorie than any known diet on earth. And even if you eat the lowest form of oxalate in the form of bok choy to get to 2,500 calories, you're going to have to sacrifice being below 45 milligrams of oxalates. It's just math, people. There's no need to get mad here. All right? And what I found really stunning, it's going to really piss off the people they call anti-vegan, which is ex-vegans who got sick from veganism and want to know why you got them sick and yet you still pursue making others sick with your misinformation, which is obviously right here. You guys are telling people you can get your vitamin A by processing beta carotene, when 45% of the population can't process beta carotene efficiently into vitamin A. Then on top of that, if you're in a malnourished state caused by veganism itself, your vitamin A needs a vehicle to carry it around. It's called retinol binding protein. Now, if you are malnourished from the beginning, your retinol binding protein, which comes from your liver, is going to be quite low because the liver simply doesn't have the building blocks for that. So whatever vitamins you think you're taking or getting, it's not true. You cannot adequately convert half the population beta carotene into vitamin A. The only source that is good for you is actually when it's preformed in the flesh of animals. And the flesh of animals has no oxalates. It's that simple. You see a lot of people come up here talking about studies like Lee Vegan, who couldn't even figure out how to tie his own shoes. He's a little bit nuts, that guy. He's in Lee Vegan state. If he continues on the vegan diet, he's going to deteriorate and die. Right now, he's over there doing. He's pushing his arm up and fluffing it up for the camera. Yeah, that's not going to last too long. You're burning the candle on both ends. And I told him, if you come from one diet that requires little supplements to a diet that requires more, the latter diet is less nutritionally dense and a less appropriate diet to your biological needs. That's it. If you go from an omnivore diet and maybe you need some B12, like they all run around screaming, you need B12, or you need vitamin D. You could just drink a glass of fortified milk with vitamin D in it. That's the end of that problem right there. And your calcium, your iron, everything is there. So maybe, again, maybe you might need B12 on the omnivore diet. But you won't need D, you won't need K, you won't need choline, you won't need creatine, you won't need taurine, you won't need carnosine, you won't need carnitine. You won't be looking for DHA. You won't be trying to convert ALA to DHA, which is, again, another one of those human processes some people just don't do good. A high percentage of people just don't do good at. And I told them, you can't cook the rat feeds out of spinach, all right? Because once you heat up spinach, you're actually increasing the radical oxalates. And what you're going to do after you eat the spinach, you're going to have more oxalates in it after you cooked it. And you're going to have more rat feeds in your body. And look up what a rat feed is. And you tell me if you feel comfortable with having that run around your body. And the best part, everybody keeps asking me for studies, these vegans. I suggest you go and read the studies. You find them. You do the research yourself and read it and see if you can extract what I've been trying to tell you all this time. Because if I give you a study, the vegan hatred toward me is leaving you blind to absorbing that information. And the reason why I'm kind of abrasive toward vegans is because I know a bunch of people you meet very sick, and they're not bad people. They're people warning other people that you're misguided, you're giving out misinformation. The people who sponsor this diet as being healthy and good, they're less than truthful. Most of them have made millions by bending the truth, cherry picking, outright fraud. Some of them have been told to cease and desist to practicing medicine in the state of Florida 2 times. They have patients and clients that have died, but yet you guys still follow the vegan diet. You got surgeons that if they find out you're vegan, the best surgeons, they don't want to ruin their track record because vegans tend to bleed a lot. You might bleed to death. They don't want to deal with that. They'll send you to one of their junior surgeons to take the risk. They don't want to end their career with a dead patient under their knife. So there you go. So here it is. I hope you vegans could take a look at this list. I'll roll by it slowly. I don't know if you're going to subsist on radishes. Let's see what you got that's low. The bok choy, to get enough calories, you're going to have to eat 58 milligrams of oxalates. The same with broccoli. Brussels sprouts, even worse. Even cabbage has got oxalates in it. To get 2,500 calories, you're going to have to eat like 58 cups of cabbage. Cauliflower cooked, it's a little bit better. No, it's worse. I'm sorry. That's a half a cup of 1 milligram. Celery raw, 1 stalk. 1 stalk has barely any calories in it. But it's got 3 milligrams of oxalates in it. You're going to eat 2,500 calories of celery? No. Even if you can put it in the blender, you're going to have over 45 milligrams of oxalates in it. Somebody said corn has no oxalates. You're wrong. You're going to eat 2,500 calories of corn. You're going to have over 45 milligrams of oxalates. A green pepper, 1 ring. That's not a whole pepper. That's a slice of it. 1 milligram. Kale, eat like Fart K said, he eats nothing but kale, a bunch of kale all day, and 2 bowls of greens, he said. Well, if you get 2,500 calories of kale, you got 116 milligrams of oxalates. So how is that okay? Basically, if you're vegan and you don't want to have kidney problems, you're going to eat lettuce. You're going to eat 2,500 calories of lettuce. You know how many heads of lettuce that is? You could live on mushrooms, I guess. But again, vegans say, oh, you think somebody's going to eat 2,500 calories of kale? Well, your fellow vegans said, that are on the same channel and follow Ryan, said that's what they do. What are you getting mad at me for? I'm not the one who made the stupid statement. That was Fart K. Manifesto asked me. He got upset. You vegans better go take your anger issues someplace else. Some of you's been threatening me. Let me tell you. I can tell you right now, I don't tolerate none of that shit. If you think you're going to threaten me and come and punch me or something, I'm going to blow your head off. What do you think? It's going to go to fisticuffs? I live in New York. There's more shootings than there is fistfights in New York. What do you think is going to happen? Figure it out. Don't threaten anybody, especially me. I'm an ex-Marine. I've been in places that are nightmares to some people. So I digressed. Let's go back. Again, please don't threaten me. I don't like when people threaten me. If I think you're a real threat, well, things can get pretty bad for you. Now, you see a carrot. A half a carrot has 10 milligrams. Right? Now, a carrot, for most vegans, is going to be the source of their vitamin A. Or pumpkin or other things that they eat. But we'll just say the carrot was suggested to me by those annoying vegan couple when I was thinking about going vegan. And then I looked at it, I would have to eat so many carrots. I'd have to go buy all the carrots in the supermarket. And then I found out even if I ate them all, I'd be lucky if I processed 30% of it into vitamin A. So I'd still be vitamin A deficient. And on top of that, with the amount of carrots I would have to eat, I probably would either get a toxic reaction to all the beta carotene because it's not going to be converted to vitamin A efficiently, like 45% of the people on Earth. And you're also going to be swallowing a hell of a lot of oxalates doing that. A half a large raw carrot, 10 milligrams. You're talking about eating bags of carrots to get a sufficient amount of vitamin A. It's just not going to work. So if you're doing this whole diet and you start tagging in the oxalates that you're eating, you're at the end of the road, son. And how you could say you can avoid oxalates? You can't. Not in a vegan diet. If you're eating plant matter, you're going to be eating not to get any oxalates or under 45 oxalates. You're going to have to eat something that a goat probably wouldn't eat. You're going to exist on lettuce, mushrooms, alfalfa sprouts. You get onions, water chestnuts. Shit, you don't got much choice at all. Calories versus oxalates. When you take in the calories from these things and then you add up the oxalates that come with them, you're going to be over 45 milligrams. There's no doubt in my mind. Now here goes the fruit side. Yeah, I eat a bunch of kale and I put it in an avocado like I see Christina Raw do this. She put a bunch of kale in a bowl and put some avocados in there. There you go. 19 milligrams. 1 cup of carrot juice, 27 milligrams. 1 date, 24 milligrams. I've seen people put 5 dates in their smoothie with a cup of soy milk and like 6 cups of spinach. And yet for some reason, we see it all over the internet and they say, no, it's not them. Ryan the other day, was going, oh, well, my cookbook doesn't have any of those items in my cookbook. He flashes the cookbook where you can't see anything on it. And then he forgets to look at this list. Totally ignores this list. Thinks there's only oxalates in those foods that were shown on that 1939 abstract, which still stands to this day. Because it's 82 years old, age has nothing to do with it. The scientific data, when they duplicate the experiment again, guess what happens? They get the same results. That's why it still stands after 82 years. Anybody who says that science is dismissed because it's 82 years old, you might be an idiot. Let's see what else. Okay. Now I want you to see soy. A soy beverage, 1 cup, 336 milligrams. A soy burger, a 3.5 ounce patty, just 1 soy burger patty. You're over already. You can't eat for the rest of the day. Not unless you're worried about renal fatigue. A veggie burger, 1 patty, 24 milligrams. How are you avoiding the oxalates when mostly everything you eat has it? And even on the lower end of anything that has any nutritional value, if you eat enough calories of that, you're still going to get over 45 milligrams of oxalates. Candies with nuts, Snickers, 2 ounce, 38 milligrams. Hey, look, flaxseed. You going to live on flaxseed? A peanut, 1 ounce of peanuts. Peanut butter, 1 tablespoon. Are you guys really looking at this stuff that you say you're experts? I don't think so. There was one guy that had his birthday. He's now a doctor with short hair. He's in some kind of medical program, and he calls himself a doctor. Or he wears a smock. Maybe he's an attendant. I don't think he's a doctor because he was putting all his tahini on top of his kids' kale salad by the tablespoon to get the kids to eat this kale. And look at this, 16 milligrams. You're killing your kid. And Lee Vegan. Let's get this straight, Lee Vegan. These are real scientists. Let's read this together, Lee Vegan. Meat, chicken, and fish are not sources of oxalate. Milk, hard cheese, yogurt, ice cream, sour cream, cream cheese, cottage cheese, buttermilk, custard, and pudding do not contain oxalate. Chocolate milk ever has 7 milligrams in 1 cup. The reason why? The chocolate. So, KJ, I don't know where you get your information from, but I think you need to talk to that person because they're going to make you very sick, KJ. Even though maybe you think it's a really good idea and you don't have problems, you probably do. It's just not surfacing up enough. When you hit that wall where your body can no longer tolerate the amount of oxalates and then you do an oxalate dump, you'll find out the hard way. And that's all I could say, people. Do not trust Ryan. He doesn't have any credentials. He admitted in the video. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks that all the oxalates exist in that little list I gave him, when it's way more. Then he's telling you he's looking through his cookbook. He's not even showing me what is in the cookbook. And he's not comparing it to this list here. And that cookbook is probably full of foods with oxalate in it. That's why humans are adapted to eating meat rather than plants. Because if you understand the digestive system of herbivores versus an obligate carnivore, you'll realize the size of the cecum is a lot different. And if you look at a gorilla cecum and a human cecum, you'll see we got a very little cecum compared to a gorilla. That's it. That's all I got to say. So people, beware this. Spread this around. Don't let these guys try to bully you, these hardcore vegans. They don't know what they're talking about. They're dismissive and glib, and they don't even know what they dismissed. They dismiss science because apparently, for some reason, they think science has an expiration date, like a head of lettuce. I think the only thing that has more brains than some of these hardcore vegans is a head of lettuce. And on that note, I'm out of here.